Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to T4's on a budget. We're doing X-Force today. Sorry if it seems a little late. The only issue is I've got to work off some of my friends and other creators' opinions because I haven't got X23 yet. But we've kind of sussed out what you should have and then what you could have for being on a budget to get this team up and running. It's been very difficult. There's a lot of T4s in this team that are very good to have, but we know this is on a budget, so these are the ones that you definitely should get if you're limited. Obviously I will go through them all and everything like that, but you know the gist by now if you've watched any of my others. If not, go check them out. Obviously, one thing I will say about this video is it's my first one with my new mic, as you can see right here. Very happy with it, loving it. Should be a lot better for you guys at home to hear my voice. I like with my webcam, I said the improved quality will be there. I unfortunately will stay the same, so sorry about that one, guys. But anyway, please leave a like or dislike depending on what you think of the video. Doesn't matter to me either way. It's publicity, a word. And also hit that subscribe button. I mean, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. You'll see tons more coming up. Carrying on doing this. If you don't like it, hit that subscribe button anyway. I mean, seriously, what's the worst that could happen? Ooh. Actually, no, I kind of don't want that to happen. But I suppose risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Anyway, let's roll that intro and let's do this. Alright guys, welcome back. So let's just go straight on to it, shall we? We got to go first is Deadpool. So Deadpool, unfortunately, as good as I like him and as good as I think he is, he just doesn't really need any, unfortunately. His dual pistols only add that 30% damage, so nothing spectacular there. His bounty hunter, 60% damage to most injured target. That really is good. I know it's only one target, but it could actually be the decision if one target dies or not. But unfortunately, it's not worth it in my opinion, so no one there. This one is an extra 30% damage to primary and 40% damage to additional targets. So pretty decent, but still nothing there magical enough to make us spend those vital T4 materials. This one's a heal for 5% heal for 5% max health. So it goes from healing for 10% to 15, and then 5% healing per negative effect removed, and always generate ability energy for Cable. So that one is pretty good because the extra heal, just in general, then the extra heal per negative effect, especially with Domino giving him negative effects, is pretty decent. But I find how he is at the moment, without the extra 5%, he still pretty much heals up to full or close to, depending how many negative effects are on him. So it's not essential, it's not unbelievably worth it in my opinion. The extra ability energy is quite good, but it's a 60% chance anyway, and Cable usually is alright for his energy. And this is more of a burst kind of team than a sustain team. So after Deadpool, we go on to, not these milestones, Professional. Professional still on this channel. We might have a new mic, we might have a new webcam, but we're still professional. That makes sense. Anyway, Plasma Rifle. So 40% damage target, that is a no-go. Overload. Nice little bit of text, makes it seem worth it, I suppose, to the untrained eye. You see a lot of text, you're like, oh, that means it does a lot. But it's only 40% damage to the primary target and 20% damage to the secondary targets. If charged, clear all positive effects from the primary target. So without this, you only clear 3 positive effects from the primary target. So you're always going to be only clearing 2 from the primary target. But if you get this, you clear, instead of 3, all of them. If you're hitting into someone who's got more than 3, it's usually a taunter, so like a tank protector, should I say. And if that's the case, you're probably not going to be clearing it with his focus, even though these do get extra focus and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen into like these big tanks that have stupid resistance these days, so not worth it. Now time sense definitely I think is worth it, because 10% chance to apply counter means it goes up from 20% to apply counter to a random mutant ally to obviously 30%. I think it's just having that 1 out of 3 instead of 1 out of 5 is quite helpful, but it's the 10% of this character's max health as barrier on charged. That's really good. So if charged, barrier yourself for 10% of this character's max health. That would just give him the 20%, so it makes him a bit more survivability, and you want him to get to his ult or his special, because usually you can get his ult off first turn. I have seen happen. I don't know if that was in a mixed team or not, but either way you want him to get to one of those turns, whether it's his ult or his special. So just worth doing it in that way. So that's Cable done. We're going to move on to Negasonic. So Negasonic's got some pretty decent abilities here. That is just 50% damage though, so not worth it. This is 60% damage to secondary and primary targets. So in that regard, it is quite worth it in that regard, just because it's all targets and it is 60%, so just above that average, and you get to clear all positive effects. But I've not seen it come massively, like, it's just, I don't think it's that worth it. Like, definitely if you go and ham into this team, maybe on one of the lower lists to get it, but not in this one. In Warhead, so this one I have found is definitely essential for if you're going into the MERC team, to get the MERC team under that 50%. This I've got from Casino, I'm not going to lie. And I've seen them get into the MERC team, but you definitely need this ability to take one of those MERCs down by 50% to 50% health, so X-23 gets a speed up, and then you can go from there. But to do that, you need to have this in War. If you're not facing the MERC team with this team, then don't bother getting it. That's why I've done it for War only, and it's for War only. If you're not using them in War that much, or if you're not using them into MERCs that much, don't even bother with this. It's generally for that. Yes, it's nice overall for the extra damage, but that's mainly what I found the use for, and it helps pretty much in that regard. This one is really nice, so you get an extra 10% armor for self if this character has barrier, which goes up from 20 to 30%. Then on War offense, she gains 20% damage for self and all X for allies. So this again I put as War only, because outside of War, if you're using them just in Blitz, or if you're not using them War that heavy, it's not going to be that essential, because it's not really going to help her outside of War. But if you're using these in War, going really hamming them, I would definitely do this. Obviously they are War teams, so you're like, wait, shouldn't I just be using these anyway, getting these because they are War? But you might not always use them that ham into War, just like Fantastic Four. You've just maybe got them up to Blitz things, and you might just want to get that team running in 8.3 in Blitz. You don't need this to get this team running 8.3 in Blitz, by all means. I need to still work on War without it. This would just really put them as your top War team. That would really help getting it to there. So next up now is Domino. So Domino is just the one, but we'll go from all passive, only 50% damage to primary target. That is a no-go. So fire in the hole. That is fill the speed bar by 20% extra for Deadpool, and 50% damage to primary and secondary. She hasn't got the highest damage by all means on the board, and why it is secondary targets, it's not massively good. The fill the speed bar is quite nice because it goes to up to 80% then. That's quite nice for Deadpool, but I find with all the extra speed bar you get anyway, and that Deadpool doesn't necessarily need it, so it's for me, it is just a no, unfortunately. Then you got no scope, which is 40% damage to primary and secondary targets, and you get to rebound to 3 guaranteed chains instead of just 2 to 3, and rebound to, oh sorry, I've completely done that wrong. Rebound to 3 and 3 targets. If this character's health, if this character's below, rebound to 5 targets. Rebound to 3 targets while above. yeah, so sorry, completely missed. I did this before I actually started doing this, so I made sure I got everything right, and then that has just thrown me around the thing. So exactly what I said at the first, that is right. So it's just if you're below 50%, you get the rebound to 5. I knew I'd messed that up. But no, sorry guys for that little mess up. I could try and edit it out or anything, but I'm going to leave it in to see my stupidity and my humanity. But no, that is correct. So that just guarantees the 3. Obviously, if you're below 50% health, it will be rebound to 5. But it is a 6 turn cooldown, and she's going to be one of the very first people to go. So very likely that character is going to be under 50% health when doing that move. So that doesn't matter anyway. But Lady Luck, definitely worth it. 25% chance to evade. That is definitely worth it. So, on an X-Force ally's turn, 50% chance to apply evade to that ally. This gives you 75% chance to apply evade to that ally. It's very, very good and very important to the team's survivability. Definitely worth doing. Plus the extra 10% crits damage for self and all X-Force allies is just a cherry on the top. Still worth doing, definitely one to get. So that's all that. We're going to go on to the last one now, which is X-23. So we've got Mutant unlocked, but we're going to start with SNIKT. This attack. But I haven't got her unlocked. This is the one thing I had to check with other people to make sure I had what I thought was right, and I was pretty spot on. A couple of things here or there, but nothing major, nothing for the T4's on a budget series. If you were going all in on this and then wanted the essential ones, which I could always do, but I don't see the point in doing that when you got Casino doing some of them yourself and a few others. This is more for if you're on a budget, which I don't see anyone doing. So that's why I've made these. But anyway, so this one you go up, just an extra 50% piercing and always gain evade. The always gain evade is really nice, but compared to all the others that help the team out and each other, I just don't think this is actually worth that. So none on that one. This is just damage. Again, really helpful for her because every time an enemy goes below that 50% health, she gains speed bar, which is really good. But anyone can do that in the team. It's not just her. So why she is really good to have it to get more damage, to get her more speed bar. Anyone in the team can put them below that 50% and give it the speed bar. So it's not just her. So when you actually look at it, is it worth her? That one is good because it's a lot of targets and blah blah. But out of everyone on the team, I'm not sure if that would be my next. But that's unfortunately not the point. So no on that one, as you know. No on this one again. It is, like I said, a 20% piercing on all attacks, which is quite nice, and it always flip the stealth instead of a 30% chance to flip stealth on each target, so it goes up massively. This one I definitely would look into doing if you were going a bit more hammer, like I said, on this team. But on essentials, on bloody a budget, no. Unfortunately, that's a no-go. And then we got Mutant Weapon, which I definitely think is worth doing. So you get an extra 20% speed bar. You get that extra focus that I was talking about. And in War Offense, you get even more focus. So this is good outside of War and in War because you gain normal extra focus outside of War and even more in War. Plus you fill speed bar by even more on both. So you go from filling speed bar by 10% to a whopping, not 10%, sorry. I think she goes up to, let's have a quick look guys, make sure I've got this right. That's another 10. Yeah, so she goes up to 50%, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that one, sorry about this guys. Like I said, should have had this one written up, but unfortunately I didn't. Yeah, a lot going on. That's not an excuse. But anyway, you definitely want this one at the end of the day. Sorry again, guys. But no. So that is pretty much it for the X-Force team. If anything changes, I will do a regraph or anything like that. I'm thinking I'm going to have to redo my Black Order infograph because the Black Order one, unfortunately, I did really quickly and without too much testing, and that really bit me in the arse because I think there's a lot wrong with that one. Not tons. There's like about 3 things I would change on it. So I'm thinking of redoing that. I'm also going to probably redo my X-Men one and Supernatural one, just like I have redone my Asgardians one. Mainly, I don't think much changed on my Asgardians ones, more than it was just a case of updating my video with better quality, as well as updating the infographic into the better version I've got now for you guys. But that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps. Leave that like or dislike, like I said. But that's all from me here. I'm Joho. You stay classy, YouTube.